Hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making a milkmaid dress. So I realized that the challenging thing about this making of this dress is the upper part of the dress. So on that note, I'm just going to show you guys three ways you can actually achieve this, and two of the ways are just freehand something. One of the ways is that you're going to use your bra. You're going to get like maybe an old bra or something like that. There's a bra that has this bone something inside, and you're just going to use it to like trace out our pattern, and then we're going to see how that turns out. So now I'm just using a razor blade to bring out the bra bone. So after bringing it out, I'm using this A4 paper to draft out my pattern. So I'm just going to place it and mark 1 inch from my center front, and then I'm just going to draw around the bra bone, just to create like that shape that is going to fit in for the cup. So that's just what I'm doing. I'm just going to just create the pattern the way I can, and this is how it looks. So now I'm just going to measure my nipple to nipple measurement, and I'm just applying it right there. After I've marked my nipple to nipple measurement, I'm going to mark 1/2 inch from one side and 1/2 inch the other side, and I'm just going to draw it to like create the middle dart that is going to be there, because the dart is going to help it to like stay well and cinch the waist a little bit. So that's just what I'm doing. I am just going to cut this out and also cut out the dots. So that's just me cutting everything out. So this is how it looks. As you can see, it's looking like a corset pattern. So I'm just going to do slash and spread and then create that cup with the so for the second method, I'm also getting an A4 paper again, and I'm just going to place it on my body, and then I'm going to draw. For this, you can also use like a clothes, maybe like an old top or something that you're not using, or maybe even a top. You can just place anything on your body and just draft it. So you're just going to do that. After you've done that, we're going to take it to the table and just make some adjustments to it. Just really draw the cup to really be curvy, and then do the necessary adjustments, and again put our nipple to nipple measurement, that's our breast palm measurement, and mark it, and still draw that dart just for a better fit. So that's just what I'm doing. I'm still just going to do this and still cut it out. It's still almost the same with that method, but then this one is kind of rough more than the other one. So for the cups, we're still going to do slash and spread method. So by the time I show the other method, I'm going to show you guys how you can slash and then you spread it to like actually get a wider cup. So this is how it looks, this method, and these are the pieces. This is me just slashing it so that I can do the slash and spread later. So you're just gonna want to name this so that you don't mix them up, and then yeah. So for the back, we're just going to get the front and then just mark it from over there, and then the back goes like down. Like for the back, you just have to like slide it down, take it down as deep as you want it to be, and then we're still gonna like hold the dart in the front there and then leave space for zipper allowance. So for the third method, you're just going to watch a tutorial on how to draft a corset, because this dress is almost the same thing as a corset. So I already like watched a tutorial where the lady was teaching how to draft a corset, and I drafted mine. This is the corset pattern, so I'm just using it to like trace out and get my measurement, my pattern for this particular one. You can use a corset pattern and you still get the same thing. The only difference there is going to be the cup, because the corset's cup is not the same with this, but the down measurement, like everything is just basically the same. So I'm just going to cut this out, and once I cut it out, I'm just going to slash the cup and spread it to create the cup for this milkmaid dress, because this one is too small to actually make the cup for the dress. So that's just what I'm going to do. So yeah, now let's cut the back. We're just still going to place the front, the front armhole side to like cut out the back, because it's still the same. It just joins at the armhole, and then you can just slide it down how much you want it to be. So this is how everything looks. Now I'm just going to slash and spread. For this, I'm just going to divide the cup into like pieces like this, maybe about 1 inch pieces, and then I'm just going to name them just so that I don't mistakenly, mix them up. And then I'm just going to place them on another paper, and while I'm placing them, I'm going to mark 1 inch gap between them. You can mark more than that, depends on how full you want your cup to be, because at the end of the day we're still just going to gather it. So I'm just going to place it here at the top of the line. I gave allowance that is going to serve as the allowance that I'm going to use to like sew the tunnel for the strap to pass through. So after that, I'm just going to mark this out, and also, that's like the new this thing. I'm just going to add some allowance to it, just for when I'm joining it. So after that is done, I've cut it out, and I'm just going to tear this out. Then I can go and cut this out on the piece of the cloth like this. You need this in 2 pieces. So these are the 2 pieces that I need for my cup. So now we're just going to sew it over here, and then we're going to gather the rest of the sides. So I just wanted to stop real quick and just show you all how the patterns, they all look the same. Like, they all just look the same. It's just, a matter of, making them look well, and construction and all that, but you're still just going to end up with the same thing. So I'm just going to place all my patterns and cut them out on the paper, leaving a 1/2 inch sewing allowance. So that's just what I'm doing right now. I've cut out my front piece. I'm also going to cut out the back piece, and then the middle piece as well. So these are my pieces. So now that I've cut out all my pieces, this is how they all look. So I'm just going to align them just so that you see how they look. So to sew them, we're just going to place each right side to right side, and then we're just going to sew them, and this is how it will look. Alright, so for the cup, I'm going to like sew one side of it like this, and then I'm going to create the tunnel where the straps are going to pass through, and then run a loose stitch that I'm going to use to gather it. And then for the middle and side front pieces, this is how I'm going to place them and sew. Right sides facing, I'm going to stitch them by 1/2 inch, and I'm just going to sew the back linings to the back. Like, I'm going to sew it at the top, and then I'm also going to sew it by the side of the zipper, then turn that over and iron it. So this is how the cups look now. I've created the tunnels for the straps and also created the straps, and I'm just going to pass them through the tunnel like this, and then I'm going to run that one loose stitch that we're going to use to like gather the top. So now that I've run the stitch and gathered it, this is how it's looking. To run it, you're just going to keep pulling till it creates like a gather. When you're making this stitch, it's not supposed to be too tight, because if it's too tight, then your thread is going to break, and then you won't get the gather that you actually want. So you're just going to do that, and then pull, because this dress, our cup is not smooth, it's gathered, and that's what makes it nice. So we're just going to find the midpoint and place it on our top at the midpoint as well, and then the midpoint of our cup area. Then we're just going to place it like this and sew it round. So after sewing it, I've also gone ahead to like sew my lining to it. Like, I place the lining right side
to right side of the dress, and I sewed it, and then I flipped it over, which is why it's creating this, like it's covering all those rough edges inside, so you can see there. So this is how it looks so far, and the back is also lined and ironed as well. So now I'm just going to place the front and the back, and I'm just going to sew the sides and sew the sides. Then we can move to the sleeves. So for the sleeve, I lost the clip where I did the cutting of the sleeve, but the sleeve is a puffy sleeve, so you're just going to make it how you want it to be, how puffy or how you want it to be. So after that, I'm just going to create tunnels up and down the sleeve where the elastic is going to go through. I've already done that to this other sleeve, so I'm just going to show you where you're going to sew it and stuff. So that's it for the sleeve. After sewing it, we're now going to attach it to the dress, like at the armhole where we left space between our back and our front for our armhole, and we're going to place it there like that and sew. After joining the sleeve to the dress, the upper part of the dress is basically done, so we're going to move to the skirt part of the dress, the lower part. So for this, I'm just going to create like a half circle skirt with my desired length. So you can just use a fitted lower part, and you can still use like a full flay, whichever works for you. But for me, I'm just using this half circle, I guess. I'm just using this one, so I'm just going to mark where I want my length to be, and I'm just going to mark that and then cut it out, and also cut out a back piece. When you're cutting the back piece, remember to include your zipper allowance, that is your zipper allowance of about 2 inches or 1.5, whichever you prefer. So after I did that, this is my back piece. I've already gone ahead to like line it. So I've lined it, the back, and I've also lined the front. The lining did not go all the way down because, well, that would just consume a lot. So I just wanted to so after that, I'm just going to join the sides and hem the bottom of my skirt, which is what I'm doing right now. So I'm just joining the sides and also hemming the down of my dress. And once that is done, both the upper and the lower pieces are both complete. The only thing left to do now is to join the both parts together so it can actually become a dress, one full dress. So I'm just going to do that now. I'm going to find the midpoint of the skirt and the midpoint of the top, and I'm going to place them at that midpoint and pin it. So when I pin it, I just pinned it there, and I can pin it round and match the sides together as well. So that's just what I'm doing. After that, I'm just going to sew the bottoms and the top together, and this is how it looks. Everything is all sewn. The only thing left to do now is to attach my zipper, and the dress is done. So this is the result. This is how the dress is looking like. What? This is beautiful. Oh my gosh. Like, what? This is giving a vibe, Sound of Music vibe, country girl vibe. This is so beautiful. And I also made like a little pause for it. Like, I always do that for like all my dresses. So this is the pause for it. It's so beautiful. Like, I really love this dress. It's so dreamy. Like, it's just so amazing. You have to try yours. So I know the ones in the picture had like a little slit, but I didn't want that for mine. So I still just love it the way it is, like this. So beautiful. I hope you make yours, and when you do, please tag me so I can see your beautiful creation. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Thanks for watching. Here's a mini photo shoot I did with my dress. So bye.